Good evening. My name is David Corcoran, and welcome to another episode of Breaking News on today, September 11th. If you are watching on, then we welcome your comments. I'm going to be alone in the studio tonight, but if you're online, then I encourage you to write questions, interact with me, and then we can have some fun in the digital space that is breaking news. Tonight, I'd like to talk about club growth. Maybe you are a new Toastmaster. Maybe you are an experienced Toastmaster and you've been part of your club environment for many, many years. But this is the time of the year that renewals are due at Toastmasters. And therefore, we do often see a big number of people dropping out of the Toastmasters network. So what do we do? Is really the question that we want to explore tonight. So I'd like to give you some strategies that I've found on toastmasters.org from our international organization, things that might be useful in your sphere. And certainly if you're watching on, add comments, because here at District 109, I'm sure we can all benefit in all of our clubs to really go beyond borders, expand with passion, and to invite fellow Toastmasters from all over the district to join in with us. So we're looking at club growth. And each year, if you didn't know, Toastmasters, as we hand the baton from one leadership to the other, start with a base of membership. And this year, I am the VPE of my club, which means that I too understand a little bit more about what's happening behind the scenes. And we've committed in our club, Vienna Toastmasters Club 551, to increasing our membership by a good 15 to 20, which is quite ambitious, but it's not impossible. So I'd like to share with you some of the ideas that we might have moving forward. So one idea is to engage in what is called moments of truth. So moments of truth is something used by area directors and division directors when they visit a club to check on the health of a club. And certainly as you go up in the leadership, this is something that will become much more familiar to you. The whole point of our moments of truth is to look at club quality. And of course, having a strong, vibrant, and quality club is going to increase the chance that guests will come, enjoy the environment that you bring, and then potentially commit to becoming members. And I don't know about your club, but in my club, we allow our guests to come 3 times. And after 3 visits, we do sort of ask them for a commitment as to which direction they might like to go. We have many people who turn up and immediately want to connect with us, which is fantastic. So you can use this moments of truth. This is one of the documents that I got from the toastmasters.org website. And it really covers the whole meeting itself. And of course, also the strength of your club. And you can use this as an audit, in fact. And so many clubs will actually conduct their own moments of truth at some point in the year to evaluate how strong things are. You can see their first impressions, and guests, are they greeted warmly and introduced to officers and members? Is there a guest book and name tags provided? Is there a professionally arranged meeting in a convenient location? And are guests invited to address the club? And are they invited to join? So I know in my club, we ask, and I've seen this in other clubs as well, guests are invited in the beginning to share their name, maybe where they found the club, and what brings them to Toastmasters, which is often a great way for them to share and get to know us a little bit better, and also for us to hear how they've gone as well, and what brought them really to Toastmasters. Likewise, at the end of a meeting, so sometimes in some meetings when it's a full meeting, we don't invite guests to participate actively, but they can observe, they can ask questions, and we have a break. So there's a moment where guests can then interact with members. Then at the end of the meeting, we invite guests to share some of their thoughts and feedback. And at our last meeting, we had 5 guests at my club. And one of them was actually a Toastmaster from Hungary in Budapest, and she'd moved to Vienna, which was wonderful to see her. And so she brought actually some ideas from her own former clubs where she was able to share the experience that she thought as well. And every club that Toastmasters has around the world operates a little bit differently. So if you've visited other clubs, you might know what I'm talking about. Maybe your first experience in your club seemed a little bit strange, but as you got to know the procedures and the benefits, you were able to make a difference from there. So why not looking at how are you attracting new guests? What kinds of positive experiences are you giving them? And that's really the whole point around these moments of truth. Now, of course, the whole meeting should also run quite well. And I'm often told in my club, our meetings seem very professional, because we have an agenda, we have everything timed, we make sure that we follow the protocols that are set out by Toastmasters International. But certainly each club can provide something a little bit different that might be worth exploring. And even visiting other clubs is a great way to see how do they engage with new members? What are they doing in order to attract new people and convert them from being a guest into being a member? So consider using this moments of truth. Not only are there first impressions you see here on screen, but membership orientation, our fellowship, variety, and communication. So you can see there some points about guests are greeted warmly. They are enjoyable educational meetings that are planned as well. Regularly scheduled social events. Now, this is something that I think most clubs do very well. There's usually a social element, maybe after the meeting, before the meeting, or even during the meeting. There could be a meal or some small pause where some food and drink can be served, either within the club or if you're operating in a restaurant, perhaps you engage with the local restaurant to have something prepared that you can engage in. And often when we celebrate with food, that's when we create really positive impressions and really positive feelings. So don't be afraid to have drinks, snacks, water, making sure that people feel that sense of celebration. And I think as we are Toastmasters, the other art that is lost a little bit is the art of the toast. So I know in our club, we sometimes forget, sometimes we remember, of course. And so having a toast is often a lovely way, perhaps even to invite a guest into that moment. If someone's come 2 or 3 times, give them an impromptu opportunity to allow them to share their talent as well and to feel integrated into the club. You can see there on the right-hand side, program planning, meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. That's often another part that might entice some guests to realize that there are ribbons or celebrations, there are acknowledgements of achievement for evaluations, of course, but maybe for the most popular vote for best speaker, best evaluator, and best table topics of the evening, for instance. So all these things are ways in which you can not only grow the health of your club, but be able to grow the membership of your club as well. So thinking about how can you engage your members? And of course, if you want to leave a comment, others will be able to see your comments as we go along as well. New members. So again, how can we have some more resources at Toastmasters International that can help us find new members? So we often welcome guests when they come, but they come perhaps from all different places. And it might be worth thinking about how can you share your Toastmasters spirit? And again, there's a manual for that as part of the successful club, I should say, the Successful Club series. So if you haven't looked at that and you are a club officer for this year, it's really worth downloading this manual from toastmasters.org. It really is a valuable resource where if you look through the information, even if it was written 5 to 10 years ago as part of the legacy program, it is actually still current and relevant today. So I've taken a few bits from this particular area to help you find new members. And the first one it says there is where I put there Toastmasters International, but TM pin. Now I've gone through my drawers and I've seen I've got these little pins. You see here one for Vice President of Education. That's my club pin for this year. But maybe you are a club mentor. And so a mentor pin can be purchased. I don't know if you can see those on screen. But of course, when we induct our new members, we also give them in our club a small Toastmasters pin, the modern looking logo and design, the silver pen. You can buy a box. So giving your new members a pin during the induction ceremony is something that we do at Vienna Toastmasters Club 551, I should say. And the point is that when I'm wearing a suit, when I'm going out with a jacket on, I often put on one of these pins on my lapel. And this may seem a little bit old school. Certainly back in the day, many men and women wear pins, on their lapels and their jackets. It's a nice way to start a conversation. So if you're out meeting clients, if you're working in an organization and maybe you're a corporate club, you might decide to wear your pin on the day of your meeting. And so by doing that, you're actually sending out a message. And you might be in a meeting and someone says, "Oh, what's that pin?" Well, actually, I belong to Toastmasters. It's a Toastmasters pin. And I'm very proud to be a Toastmaster. "Oh, what's Toastmasters?" And then you can start a conversation from there with people. And this is really the power of wearing just a small, discreet kind of pin. Also, when I was division director, we have these larger badges that you can see here. So these nameplates. And for conferences, maybe for other events, maybe if you're doing an open house, if you can order some of these either for yourself or for your team, then this might be another way to stand out with a real name badge kind of feeling at corporate events or other fairs where perhaps you're road showing your club of Toastmasters. This might be a nice way to share the Toastmasters spirit. The second way they talked about is display the Toastmasters magazine. So we get the magazine now digitally, but of course there are print copies available in certain locations. So if you've got a few print copies lying around, and put them out somewhere in on your coffee table, or have your iPad open with the latest issue of Toastmasters magazine. It may be also something that you might bring up. And certainly, one way to persuade is through what's called practical value. I've just finished a book by Jonah Berger called Contagious, and he talks about practical value. And Toastmasters is full of practical value, as we know. And the point to make here is that if you see something in a Toastmasters article in a magazine that you think could be useful for a potential new member, someone in your organization or someone in your community that you know might benefit from the advice given in that Toastmasters magazine. And usually most of the articles are written by our fellow Toastmasters. This is a nice way to introduce our ways, our philosophy, and what we're doing at Toastmasters. So why not consider informally giving somebody practical value? But you don't have to bring it with come and join and you must be part of our group. No, let people come in their own time when they see the value that you're demonstrating through being a Toastmaster and also through providing them as well. Most clubs, and certainly again available on the international website, are brochures and flyers. Maybe you create your own, but there's certainly, as you see in this picture, plenty of Toastmasters brochures and flyers that are officially endorsed that you can use to sell. And if you're doing it to sell Toastmasters, but certainly to encourage people to come along. So consider downloading, printing, and organizing these brochures officially. Talk to your area director and your division director. Maybe you'll be able to get some more types of pens and pins and pens, notepads. There may be certain merchandise available that they could allow you to use to entice people to come along. I remember in one of my clubs in the early time, there were pads and pens on the desk each time we met. So they could be Toastmasters pens that you can order from the Toastmasters shop. Speechcraft, and as you know, here at Breaking News, we've actually interviewed many people who have done a Speechcraft workshop in the past. And so Speechcraft and the youth leadership programs are two very strong ways in which you can start to go out into the community and provide something for your Toastmasters club, but to encourage others to come and join you as well. So if you haven't done a Speechcraft workshop in your team, consider it as a project. It may even count towards a bigger project that you're working on in Pathways. And actually in this manual, it says meetup.com. So Meetup may be a wonderful way to advertise. And I know most clubs these days, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, but Meetup can also be a nice way to just put something out there and let people know that you exist as a club. And then people organically start to find Meetup. I'm using Meetup for emotional intelligence here in Vienna to create a small community. And I'm now finding that people are organically finding my group and are coming along to our monthly meetings. So I can endorse meetup.com as a way that you can set up a nice account for free. You can put out, actually it's not free, it's a paid service, but hopefully your club could afford that. And then once you've done that, you'll be able to put out your information, attract people, of course, and then have them come to your clubs. But as Ralph Smedley said, let us share the benefits we've gained for ourselves with others. And really what we're talking about here is that you are the best example of being a Toastmaster out in the community. And wherever I go, people might ask me, oh, wow, where did you learn to speak like that? Or how did you come to what's your story? And so I often share that Toastmasters is a reason for my being here in Vienna. When we arrived from Australia to Vienna, when we knew we could stay, I joined a Toastmasters club. I had intended to do it in Sydney, Australia, but I'm really glad I joined Vienna Toastmasters Club 551. And they've been my home club now for over 7 years. And I've just signed on for another year, of course. And I see it as an important part of my life. And so therefore, when I'm out and talking to people, invariably I drop that I was at a meeting or that I'm doing something with Toastmasters, or even this breaking news on YouTube, that I'm participating in some way and really sharing that interest. So when people see you, your positive example, and remember, if we live those Toastmasters values of respect, integrity, service, and excellence, we can rise to the occasion and allow people to then organically see the benefit that we show them, and then they may be interested from there to connect further with you. And so know when your club meets, know perhaps where some of the other clubs in your cities are, if there are other clubs as well. In Vienna, we have 5 or 6 clubs at the moment, and about 13 to 14 clubs in Austria. So when people are traveling around Austria for business, they might find that there's another club that they'd like to participate in as well. And I say, go, enjoy. You can go as a guest for up to 3 meetings. So why not go and find out what's happening and see which club is right for you? And that's also the important thing. If you are a club officer, spend a bit of time understanding what is the culture of your club. What difference do you make as a club, and what community can you offer as well? So thanks for those who are watching on. If you have any comments that you'd like to add about what you do in your club to really attract members, I'd love to give you a shout out and to see some interaction with you as well. So thanks for being here with me tonight. Now, of course, officially, the last part to mention is that there are ribbons. So if you are part of the officers team, or you have a club that's very competitive, then from at the moment, you might get 5 new members, as it says here, add 5 new dual or reinstated members for the Smedley Award. So this is the current award that's available to all clubs if they can get 5 new members. It started on August the 1st and goes until the end of this month. So how are you tracking? Have you got 5 new members? And as you know, if you've seen your club, maybe you've got the ribbons on your club banner, you'll see that the club very proudly displays we were Smedley Award winners for this year. So why not go for that? And maybe encourage people to come and participate, therefore, and say, you'd really enjoy this, and maybe you could help us out. But this is not the only time that we have an award. There is Talk Up Toastmasters, which happens just after the new year. Again, another 5 members, and then Beat the Clock, which happens a little bit later, just before the end of the Toastmasters year. Beat the Clock, another 5 new members. So the point is, maybe you can get up to 15 new members a year, which is almost the full number that you need to charter a club. So why not continue to grow and expand? I remember some great advice that I got from our former district director, Francesco Fedele, who said a healthy club has around 30 members. You need 20 to charter, but a healthy base of around 30 members is quite good. And certainly, I don't know if those numbers are accurate this year with our club growth director, but check in with Toastmaster Natalia and see if you can help your club grow in ways there as well. And maybe you have already more than 30 numbers, but 30 to 40 to 15 in a club suddenly means we've got a vibrant atmosphere, and we're not leaving all the responsibilities to a few, but we can really bring in new people. So remember, the Smedley Award, Talk Up Toastmasters, and Beat the Clock. 3 very concrete ways that you can show Toastmasters International that you're finding new people, that you are encouraging them to participate and become new members as well. So let's go now to Charterversary. So Laura Filippi, our public relations manager of District 109, said to me, David, let's have Charterversary. So if your club is celebrating 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, a significant birthday, maybe it's turning 21 this year, we want to hear from you. So please come and share with us the moments of celebration that you are having. And I got this picture from Toastmasters Magazine, September 2021. It's the Microsoft Speakers Club in Reading, England, celebrating their 10th anniversary. And this was back in 2018. So they're already well on their way, perhaps to their 20th anniversary. And I know my club this year in November will be 44 years old. And we very much celebrated its 40th anniversary. We put on a big party. We invited some of the original founding members of our club 40 years ago in Vienna, came along for the evening. And it was wonderful to hear and share their stories and understand what they went through to help Toastmasters grow in Vienna, and then, of course, from there in Austria. And we saw then the growth and development from one club to many clubs. So maybe you have a similar story that you'd like to share with us. So we really encourage you to come to us here at Breaking News and to share that information. You can drop us a line at our email address, d109prm@gmail.com. So if you've got any other district news that's happening within your club, a major achievement, perhaps somebody who's doing something really interesting, then feel free to drop us a line. So Laura is actually online. This is amazing. Hi, Laura. It's good to see you. Yes, which is the oldest club in District 109? It's not my club. I know there is an older club that I think maybe is now 60 years old. So it'd be good perhaps in time that we can interview some of those clubs, maybe some of our oldest clubs and even some of our newest clubs. But if your club is celebrating an anniversary, then we'd like to hear from you. We also have another announcement. We have some more team members now for Breaking News. They're not joining me tonight, but you will see them in the future. So Frank Kaiser will be delivering German episodes in the upcoming months. Victoria Kazan will be delivering Turkish episodes in the upcoming months. And Panagiotis Karanikas, I do hope I've said that right, Panagiotis, I need your help there, will be our Greek presenter as well. So Toastmaster Panagiotis, Victoria, and Frank, thank you for joining the Breaking News team with, of course, our public relations manager, Laura. And we will be bringing you content in these 3 languages, as well as, of course, in English. But we're still looking for other moderators. So perhaps you speak Italian and you'd like to do what I do, Bulgarian, French, Macedonian, Slovenian, and Maltese. So again, please get in touch with us. We would like to grow our Breaking News team and find interesting ways that we can have interviews, and of course Hebrew. So we have somebody lined up for Hebrew, but I didn't officially confirm them, so I don't want to release their name tonight. But I do hope that perhaps in time we can also have content from Israel there as well. So really covering all the languages that we speak here in District 109. And as we realized, English is the lingua franca. It is not the language of the countries where we have countries within District 109. So please get in touch with us. We want to grow the opportunity to really speak to all of you across the district. So d109prm@gmail.com. So tonight we've looked at club growth. We've looked at how we can find new members through the Toastmasters materials that absolutely exist. And so I want you to download those materials going to toastmasters.org, or if you're Google searching, type in things like Speechcraft Workshops, Finding New Members Manual, the Successful Club series, and you will get all the manuals that your club can use to help you grow the number of members that you've got as well. I do encourage you to do that. Let's see Toastmasters across District 109 really grow and move forward. I'd now like to read the weather before finishing up. So in Athens, tomorrow, it will be cloudy and sunny with 29 degrees. Istanbul, it will be showers and 24 degrees. In Jerusalem, it will be sunny and 30. In Ljubljana, it will be cloudy, sunny, and 24 degrees. In Nicosia, it'll be very hot there, 37 degrees and sunny. In Rome, also warm at 31 and sunny. Sofia will be showers and 24. Birkirkara, 32 and sunny. In Linz, 22, cloudy with some sunshine. And in Bern, also 24 there, sunny and some sunshine. And Helen, thanks for jumping on and leaving a message. It's a pleasure to bring you these tips. I do hope that wherever you are, your club, and you can benefit from finding new members and helping people grow and prosper as well. So this has been another episode of Breaking News. And as I said, I'd love to have some guests in our upcoming episode. We did have somebody lined up, and I am hoping to come have them back on our next program, which will be in 2 weeks' time. So we've got 2 weeks to come together, So please email me if you have something that you would like to share, and we'd love to interview you. Every 2 weeks, we will have breaking news across the year, probably a little break over the turn of the new year, and then, of course, leading right through to the end of our Toastmasters year in this June. So stay tuned. I'm David Corcoran, and it's been a pleasure to be your host tonight.